Visit TCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit TCG Castle for more.
Looking to grade your Pokemon cards and you don't know how to do it? Check out Ludkins Collectables and grade your Pokemon cards with zero risk. Check video description or visit ludkinscollectables.com for more.
Hello and welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In this video we'll be looking at Passimian deck for the standard format that you can see in front of you with a lot of different tag Pokemons, as I like to call them, friends. So Passimian and Friends deck, budget version of this deck, as you can see in front of you. No Tapu Lele, no any other GX in this deck. Pure, basic Pokemon. I should say that. So yeah, the only evolution is Octillery, but anyways, he's not going to be a attacker in this deck, obviously. Anyways, let's move on to the deck list so you guys can also see what's very special about this deck. So first of all, we're going to attack with Passimian Team Play Attack, which says that this attack does 30 damage for each of your opponent, for each of your benched Passimian. So technically we can have 4 Passimians on bench, and that means that we can team play for 130. That can be performed by using that Mew Memories of Down. If we can hit for 130, we can, for example, add something like a Choice Band, and then in that case we can strike for 160. Being able to attack for 160, it's not going to be enough for the one-hit knockout against, for example, Tapu Lele GX or 180 HP Pokemon. But in addition to that, Professor Kukui can provide us 20 more damage counters, which means that we can go for up to 180 in theory, which is very amazing. On the other side, Power Handle can also add 30 more damage counters to our Passimians, but that means that Passimian attack will do 30 more damage counters only to our opponent evolution active Pokemon. What's very amazing about that? Well, for example, if we have our Passimian on the bench, and if we have Team Play Passimian in the active position, so with 3 Passimians on the bench, Team Play will does 100 plus 60 more for 2 Passimians, 160, and then we can go up to 210. Brilliant. But the good thing about this Passimian is the fact that we can, for example, attack Zoroark for the weakness. So we can strike. I really hate when this happens, when you just, yeah. Anyways, so we can, with Passimian, hit Zoroark for the one-hit knockout. With the Sudowoodo, Watch and Learn, we can also copy any attack in play as long as we have, more prize cards left than our opponent, so that can also be very good tech. With the Mew, we can, for example, one-hit knockout Psychic Pokemons like Espeon GX, like Buzzwole GX, for example. So we can also cover that for the weakness. And on the other side, with the help of the Magical Swap, for example, we can just move damage counters between our Pokemons in play. So Tapu Lele is here mainly to counter those annoying decks like, let's say, Golisopod. So we can simply, hit a couple times and then just, use Magical Swap. And the good thing about Cobalion is the fact that with Revenge Blast, for example, in the late game, but also in the mid to late game, we can easily one-hit knock out those Gardevoir GXs. So if our opponent managed to took 3 prize cards, the Revenge Blast will already does 120, which will be more than enough for the one-hit knockout. But if he took only 2 prize cards, Revenge Blast will does 90. With the Choice Band, 120 times 2, which is going to be 240. That's just amazing. So that's the whole concept of this deck. Hit for weakness with just a single double course energy, or maybe counter energy. That's how this deck works. From the Pokemons, I'm running 1 of each, also Remoraid and Octillery. And that's pretty much the deck list for the Pokemon line. Moving on to the item cards, there's just many different item cards. The first one on the deck list is going to be a Counter Catcher. I really like it because in some certain situation, Counter Catcher can be used and also as a Guzma, for example, and we can also use it that turn Draw Supporter. 1 Energy Lotto also makes a sense because in some certain situation we might just not going to be able to find energy, and then with the Energy Lotto we might be able to search it. Sometimes we're just, be in a position where we might just want to get that counter energy, maybe double course energy. So with the Energy Lotto, technically, we can search our deck for the energy. But also that Energy Lotto can just be substituted with, for example, additional counter energy. But the main purpose of it is just to be able to get that extra double core energy. So it's like we run 5 double core energy, for example, with the Energy Lotto. 2 fuel blowers, of course, very important, as well as 4 copies of Nest Ball. I'm also running 4 copies of Ultra Ball. So this is for the best possible consistency with this deck. It's a non-GX attack. There's just, no Tapu Lele, no Wonder Tag, so we really rely on those Nest, Ultra Ball, and Brooklet Hills. What I really like about this deck is also the fact that you can tech 1 Pal Pad, and it can be very useful. 4 copies of Puzzle of Time as a staple. We just don't want to think about building this deck without Puzzle of Time. 3 Rescue Stretchers, which is a very important card, especially to keep flowing those Passimians in play and recycling Pokemons back onto our bench, like Mew, for example. Special Charge times 1 because we're running heavy special energy decks, so we really want to have option to recycle some energies. 4 Ultra Balls, of course, 3 Brooklet Hills, very good card, because with the Brooklet Hill we can simply set up those Passimians and also that Remoraid on the bench for artillery later. And you can also find on this deck list 3 Choice Bins and 3 Float Stones for the best possible consistency with adding extra damage and being able to retreat. And right now from supporter cards, I'm running 3 of each Cynthia and Guzman. Running 2 of each N and Kukui, and also 3 Professor Sycamores. From the energies, I decided to go with 2 counter and 4 double cores energies, which will be 60 cards in total for this deck list. So if you're looking to play this deck, you can find all of these cards on TCGcastle.com. Link is provided in my video description. With TCG Center 5 code, you can also get some discount on your first purchase, so make sure to check that. Link provided, of course, in my video description, as I mentioned it. And also, if you may be looking to buy or maybe send your cards to the PSA submission, you can check LudkinsCollectables.com. Those guys provide the best service when we speak about PSA submitting and sending cards to be graded. So yeah, that's for now. When we speak about deck introduction, let's move on to the game test so you can actually see how this deck works in action. So see you in the game. So I have 3 consistent victories in a row with this deck, and it's really interesting how strong this deck is. And it basically have answer to many decks in the current standard format. So this is the very clunky start, I should say that. It's probably just because I'm recording. Every time I'm recording, I'm having a hard time finding something useful. And this is the case right now. So I'm gonna Ultra Ball for something like this 2 cards. And I'm just gonna grab myself Remoraid. And I'm gonna put him on the bench. And that's literally all I can do at this moment. So I'm passing the turn down to my opponent. And next turn I'm Ultra Balling for something like Remoraid, something for like Artillery, and then I can have that Abyssal hand. And technically with the Mew, I can do a lot of problems to my opponent. I'm just gonna need a couple Passimians, and that's pretty much it. So 3 Passimians are the way to go. Alright, so let's just wait and see what's going to happen next. I think how my opponent is probably going to concede pretty much turn 2, turn 3. If I manage to pull that turn 1, turn 2 knockout combo, we shall see that. So I'm going to Ultra Ball. And this Ultra Ball needs to be for something like a Pal Pad. And I'm going to discard Puzzle of Time. Just because, I have that double cores energy available, so if I can find myself Mew, I can then attach that energy to it. If not, I can, I guess, discard it. We shall see what's going to happen next. So, alright, there is the Nest Ball and Puzzle of Time. Who would say that I'm going to get Puzzle of Time? If I grab myself Mew, I guess I can't do too much with it. So probably as it is, mean, I'm going to grab that Mew. That's just obvious. I'm going to play that Guzma onto my opponent Remoraid, so I can potentially build up some Pokemons with Encounter, for example, like that Passimian with a team play, and I can put him back into my hand. Alright, there we go. So 2 Guzmas already in my discard pile. It's not a big deal. I can always play Palpad and remove them back into my deck, so that's not a huge issue for me. So there is the max elixir for my opponent, and energy should go down to that Buzzwole. So he decided to attach energy to Buzzwole, even that he knows that that Buzzwole can easily be one hit knocked out from my Mew. And there's the Guzma. So looks like this is gonna be Guzma for my Octillery this time, because that Octillery does not have Flowstone available. And it's gonna be Jet Punch and 30 damage, probably down to my Mew. I would expect to see something like that coming. It's not the end of the world yet. I mean, I still have that Abyssal hand and chance to draw something like a Floatstone. Another Flowstone would be amazing. Even Fill Blower with something like a Puzzle of Time could potentially be a good play. But as it is, it looks like it's not going to happen. So I'm going to attach the double Core's energy, and I'm going to play that Cynthia for the fresh hand of 6 new cards. And yeah, there is just no sign of the Floatstone, which means that next turn I'm losing 2 prize cards against my opponent Buzzwole. It is how it is. So at least I have the Rescue Stretcher Floatstone play available with that counter energy as well. Potentially I'm still good. We're gonna be equal pretty fast if my opponent managed to knock me out. I mean, he's gonna take double price card, that is for sure. So Ultra Ball is for Octillery, no question about that play. Then he can set up with a Abyssal hand. Sooner or later that Sudowoodo is gonna be knocked out. Alright, so another Buzzwole and one more Buzzwole. So there's enough Buzzwoles on my opponent bench for the victory, as long as I can keep spamming my team play with Mew for one hit knockout. So all I really need are 3 Passimians on the bench, and that's 100 for the team play because of the weakness times 2 it's gonna be. So there's another Jet Punch. Interesting, no energy for my opponent, but those energies are not that important. He just needs to keep putting pressure with that Jet Punch, and he's going to be perfectly fine. So right now I even have Counter Catcher available, and I can also use the ability of it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to grab myself a Rescue Stretcher, which means I'm going to put Pokemon from my discard pile back into my hand, and that's going to be Mew. And after that I'm going to put him on the bench. Right now I can use effect of the counter energy as well. I'm thinking about, yeah, it worked for sure. Recycle that double Core's energy, and after that I don't mind that my opponent have so many cards in his hand. I just need another Passimian. And luckily I managed to get that Brooklet Hill. So there we go, another Passimian. And even more important is another Nest Ball for that Mew. Ooh, or maybe that's not gonna be a smart option. Because next turn, yeah, that's definitely not gonna be smart. I'm not gonna do that. Nope, 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 I'm not gonna do that. I just gave up from that. Anyways, so right now I have enough resources, and it's how many different attacks I can use. I can also use Watch and Learn, for example, but I'm gonna stick with the team play. It should be for 200. which is 10 more than enough to be knocked out my opponent possible. So I'm taking 2 prize cards, and we are both equal right now. Ooh, what a nice prize cards. 2 puzzle of times at the same time means that I can grab any card from my discard pile, put it back into my hand, and then just, you know, have another puzzle of time available. What I'm gonna do here is I'm thinking probably about using that Guzman next turn and knocking out his possible, but I also need to set up that artillery again on the bench, because in the late game I could lose really easy without artillery in play. So I'm gonna need to set up that artillery very fast in play. Of course, this is gonna be Lycanroc GX. With the Lycanroc GX, my opponent can basically have that opportunity to maybe force me to take a double prize knockout. But the good thing for me is that at this moment, he don't have that extra energy available on that rock roof. But there is Regirock, which means that he definitely wants to knock me out. I mean, with the strong energy without Regirock, he can do that, so that's really confusing. But again, I just need to knock out 2 more puzzles and the game should be over. As long as I can keep my resources available, I'm gonna be more than fine. Good thing for me is also the fact that I can watch and learn, which means I can apply some pressure to my opponent as well. But the biggest problem with the watch and learn is, oh, there's the Oricorio. So he decided to put some pressure with Oricorio down to me with that. Yeah, he can knock me out with that Oricorio. That's a nice play because he can use Revolution Dance and knock out my Mew. What is such a nice play. This is a brilliant play. But yeah, this is such an amazing play. I really don't know what you say about that. Well, there's just one thing for sure. I'm gonna grab Remoraid, and I'm also gonna grab... I'm gonna grab both. I'm gonna grab Remoraid and Octillery from my discard pile, and then with the Puzzle of Time, I'm also gonna grab myself... that Mew. Alright, so there's another Nazball. So it's time for double Puzzle of Time. I just basically need to grab that Mew and something like a Puzzle of Time. Or actually, I don't need Mew. I need Puzzle of Time, and I need that Remoraid. Or better, I'm gonna use that Rescue Stretcher. With the Rescue Stretcher, first I'm gonna play Rescue Stretcher. Then I'm gonna shuffle 3 Pokemons back into my deck, and that's gonna be these 3 bad boys. So my opponent cannot use advantage of his Supernatural Dance. Then I'm gonna play my Nazball, which means I'm gonna grab myself Remoraid. Actually, it's gonna be Mew, but it really doesn't matter too much. Alright. Then I can also play, for example, Brooklet Hill and grab that Remoraid and put him on the bench. So after that, I can play 2 Puzzle of Time at the same time, and I can still grab any 2 cards from my discard pile and put them back into my hand. Since I can grab something like, for example, Counter Catcher, which says that you can play only this card if you have more prize cards left than your opponent. So I'm gonna grab myself a Counter Catcher, and I'm gonna grab myself a Pulpad, so I can shuffle back those Guzmas into my deck as well. First things first. Alright, this is just amazing. I really enjoy watching and also playing this right now. So I'm also watching this game and I'm also playing this game at the same time. So it's just amazing. All right, so I can one-hit knock out my opponent possible here. And that's gonna be one team play for the one-hit knockout. So I know that I'm going down to only 2 prize cards next turn. Which means that my opponent can hurt me very hard with the M. But I just, try to set up that Ramride. So Ramride is on the bench, which is most important thing right now. As long as I can have that auxiliary, I can have that Abyssal hand, and then I can draw some extra resources. I also reshuffle it back to Guzma's. So all I'm going to need is going to be Mew Guzma and double Cores Energy combo. So there's the max elixir for my opponent. The good thing is that he can just, knock me out with that Revolutional Dance or Ikorio for 60 because there's a Stadium card available, and yeah, it is how it is. It's going to be knockout. There's just no question about that. But how he can take 2 more prize cards before I knock out his Boswell. He definitely made a huge mistake by benching 2 more Boswells on his bench. That was the case. That was the moment where he just lost the game. But anyways, we're still keep going with that Mew. I mean, it's going to be knocked out. If there's not going to be N, that's the game loss condition for my opponent. But there's the Tapu Wonder tag, and probably it's going to be for N. So if he decides to end me right now, I'm going to go to 2 cards. And I'm going to need to be very lucky fighting that auxiliary. Or at least a draw supporter, which is not going to be N. Oh, so he decided to go for the Cynthia play here. It just makes 0 sense to me. I just don't know why he didn't go for the N. Maybe he don't have N. Maybe N is prized. Maybe his last N is prized. Maybe he run only 2 copies of N. Maybe even 3 copies of N, but 2 of them are prized. Who knows? Maybe even 4, but 3 are prized. We can just speculate that. But probably we're just going to find that after the game ends, because I'm definitely going to take a look at my opponent deck and see if he had that N available. So there we go with the Revolutional Dance. It's enough for the knockout. So right now I just need to find a way to grab that Guzma. And I also need to find a way to grab that Rescue Stretcher. So, Guzma is here, which is amazing. I guess I can go with the Brooklyn Hill. Yeah, I have Mew available. Alright, so Mew is available. What if I go for another Passimian? No, it makes no sense. Definitely makes 0 sense to me. Alright, so this is gonna be one Ultra Ball, and it's gonna be for the Brooklet Hill, and it's also gonna be for that Professor Sycamore. So, Professor Sycamore, it's for my auxiliary. I still didn't retreat, which means I'm gonna play Guzman before I even try to retreat. I guess I can do that. Yeah, I think I can do that. I'm perfectly fine with doing that. There's just a greater chance to pull all of the resources that I'm gonna need. But this also maybe lose me the game. Maybe also lose the game by doing that. Abyssal hand for 5. I already used my supporter card for this turn. And there's the winning combination. There's the Rescue Stretcher, which means I can put Pokemon back from my discard pile into my hand. So I can grab that Mew. I can put him back into my hand. And I can basically just, attach that double Color's energy. I can retreat. And I can one-hit knock out my opponent Boswell for last 2 prize card with my team play. So that's 200, and that's the win. Yeah, it is how it is. I mean, this deck just works like, it just works. It's a very amazing how it works, and it's just, built on the budget. I mean, and it's also 1 prize attacker deck, which can potentially be very good for the new players who just start to play. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and sub to the channel for more videos. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this deck list. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. So have a nice day and goodbye.